Hi everyone, this is Dylan, and I'm sorry for the poor video quality and the picture behind me. These are just the circumstances under which I am finding myself capable of making this video, so here we are. In this video, I'm just going to be talking about some stuff that's going on in my integration process and in my life in general that I think may be helpful for you all. So, we've been continuing to integrate deeply around our autism and learn how to take care of ourselves better around it so that we have less meltdowns and are in less pain and cause other people less pain. And I say that with a hint of irony because most of the reason why our autism could possibly negatively impact others is because of the extremely intense ways in which other people carelessly impact negatively upon us around it, both on an individual and on a societal level. So, yeah, I say that with irony, but I do genuinely recognize that when I am not taking care of myself around my autism and when other people are making it really difficult for me to do so, I do cause other people stress with my meltdowns, etc. So I'm just working on being more grounded and more in touch with what I need, and I'm working on being more in tune with my boundaries and more assertive about setting them with other people. It's very challenging for us as, I would go ahead and say, a severe codependent. We've been in recovery from our codependence for a while now, but we very much struggle with that, and it's very hard for us to set boundaries with other people in a measured and proper way. But this channel has definitely taught us a lot about that. I must say that we have gotten an extremely, extremely valuable education in boundaries through running the comments sections of these videos, and I'm honestly very grateful to all of you, including those of you who have been abusive, because in a way, you guys have served as valuable teachers. That being said, I do not invite anyone to abuse us. We really do not need to endure any more abuse, I don't believe, in order to learn from it. I think I can honestly say that it would be best if we did not have to deal with any more abuse again. But it has helped us to become more grounded in ourselves and in our needs when those things have been challenged. So I'm getting very anxious because I want to announce some big, exciting news. But it's very personal, and I'm getting kind of, to use a word our littles like to use, bumbly about it. But yesterday, without getting a certificate, but very much in a legitimate way, my partner Thomas and I got married. We have been planning for a long time to go out into the woods and have a ceremony just for ourselves, specifically in line with Celtic traditions. And we have talked about whether or not to do it legally. And while neither of us have any actual objections to doing so, we have decided for now to hold off on doing that, so that he can start exploring getting disability without any complications from us having a legal union. So he's going to be exploring getting disability payments while we are going to be unofficially married in the eyes of the law, but very much officially married in our eyes and in the eyes of our higher powers. So from now on, I'm going to be referring to him as my husband. And because I'm non-binary, he doesn't really have a word that he can call me. Spouse feels just so cold and formal. So he's probably just going to be saying partner, but he doesn't talk online anyway, really, to anyone except for some of the people that he games with. So I don't think it really matters. He's just going to call me his partner, I think, to most people. And then we've come up with a pet name that he can call me that I'm not going to share here that relates to being married and is non-binary. But yeah, so this was very exciting. We had a really beautiful ceremony just to ourselves. We are staying in a hotel right now in another town, a bit a ways away from where we were living homeless most recently. And within about 3 miles of here is a place out in the hills that's really beautiful, that's kind of wooded. You know, we were hoping for more of a foresty area, but it was just absolutely perfect. We got to walk through woods and up onto a big hill and look out over all these beautiful pastures. We're not in the California wine country, but it looked a lot like that. A lot of the scenery really reminded me of some old French paintings that I've seen. So it was just very picturesque, and we had mostly, had privacy and weren't actually bothered by anybody, although a few people walked by. And we did some incredibly inexpensive versions of Celtic traditions that helped us to feel like we had really had our ceremony with our higher powers, like I said. I'm a bit more into Celtic paganism than my partner is. He doesn't know as much about it, hasn't practiced it as much, but he also has some Irish heritage and is very connected to it anyway. So it was just very beautiful, and I feel very blessed, and I feel like I'm rambling because I'm honestly just so happy. I've been with my partner for almost 3 years now, I think, but we were friends for a couple years before then. I met him just as I was in transition out of MK into living more freely. And at first, I was dealing with so much programming that was blocking me from connecting with him that our friendship was kind of rocky, but we connected so deeply from the start, and I don't have the words for the beauty and the joy that has ensued from this relationship. And so I am just very happy to be able to call Thomas my husband, and I'm sorry he can't be here with me in this video. Maybe I can get him to come in a video soon, to be in a video soon. I mean, that sounded bad. I didn't mean it like that. I meant maybe I could get him to, come sit with me and record a video. But I don't know. He's very camera shy. He's not been diagnosed, but we both suspect that he is on the autism spectrum. I would say with absolute certainty, personally, that he is somewhere in the autism and ADHD family, and is probably autistic. And talking on here is even harder for him than it is for me. But I hope that you guys know that he really appreciates you. He sees how much you guys have impacted me and how much the work that I have done for you has impacted others, and it just means the absolute world. So I don't really know what else to say. Currently, we are facing the challenge of transitioning into living in a new place. We're in a hotel right now, but we're not going to be here for very long. And we are likely going to be going to a new city. The place that we were in before, it was so important for both of us, I think, to go there and experience it in the way that we did. Both of us have a history with the city that we were staying in, homeless, but things got so painful in certain ways. And the day that we left and went to this town to be in this hotel, so many things happened at once that made us feel like we were being pushed out of the space energetically and like it was time for us to go. Um, and I'm honestly currently in a bit of pain about it, first and foremost, because there was somebody there that we met that we really connected with. Um, and there was sort of accidental closure, I think, with them before we left, but we didn't get a chance to say goodbye or tell them we were leaving. And so we may have a chance to actually go back to the city we were in one last time and see if we can find this person and let them know that we're leaving and let them know um, how much we appreciate them and so on. But we might not have the option to do that, and that is causing me some pain. I hate disappearing on people. But other than that, I feel like everything wrapped up really neatly and nicely, as difficult as it was in certain respects. And I think that this place that we're going to be moving on to for a bit is going to be correct. There's stuff around the name of the place that's very specific to some stuff that I've been working on. And there are some resources there that are rather unique that we're going to try to take advantage of. So we will see what happens. In the meantime, Thomas has been talking to his family, to his parents, about us possibly getting an apartment again. And in the meantime, they have agreed to help him try to get disability specifically. So we're hoping that maybe we can get inside again through their assistance and then use that time to try and have Thomas get disability and at the same time possibly get off methadone again. I know that. Hold on 1 second. Can you come back in a bit? It's okay. Housekeeping knocking on the door. Must say it's surprising and nice, the idea of someone else cleaning for us. Honestly, the whole idea of that makes us really uncomfortable, though. Something with our autism and with our trauma, we do not like the idea of people touching our stuff or being in a space in which we are living, even if it's something like this. It just can make us antsy. But I will say a random thing that brings a smile to my face, that maybe will bring a smile to some of you guys' faces. Yesterday, we let a maid come in and clean the room while we were out, and she positioned our stuffed animals. We have 2 stuffed animals with us right now, and she positioned them in ways that matched up with stuff that would kind of I don't even know how to put it. My partner and me, we do inner child play involving our stuffed animals and involving making up stories about them and their personalities. And a lot of it, I think, involves genuine connection to the stuffed animals, and other parts of it are made up by our inner children. They're insisting that it's the same thing because they're kids and they're very connected to the imagination and to the world of things unseen in that way. But anyways, this maid, she positioned the animals in a way that matched up with narratives that we have about them, and it was really quite amazing. Because unless she was MK, which I don't think in this case that's what was going on, there's no way that she would have been able to know about that stuff unless she had kind of felt it out intuitively herself, which makes me feel like there really is something about our stuffed animals, that our inner children are onto something when they say that they are very much alive and that they very much have personalities, and that these stories that they have about them, they're not totally fiction. And I guess this video is getting long and I'm really rambly. Sometimes it's easier for me to talk than other times. And right now I feel very awkward. But I will say that on the subject of connecting to things unseen and connecting through the inner child, when we got married to Thomas yesterday, we did not just marry him. As part of our Celtic faith, we privately, at the same time as we married him outwardly, married the earth and ourselves and the spirits and various other, um, we just, we had multiple marriages. We focused very much on marriage in a universal way. And we made sure to bind ourselves to many things spiritually, not just Thomas, um, as part of us marrying him and as part of us transitioning into this new phase of our life. Um, and One thing we did also marry with intention was our own craft. Um, my Tumblr says that we are a green witch slash nature lover, which is the best way I know how to put it. And I know I've talked about energy work a lot on here and prayer, and I've mentioned both Buddhism and Celtic neo-paganism, as well as other kinds of spirituality that we've practiced. Um, but I know I haven't talked too much about it. One of the main reasons I have not done that is because I don't want to push away any survivors of ritual abuse who have too many triggers around these things. I really want my channel to be accessible to people who are newly coming out of that stuff, and I don't want to scare anyone away or just make it too triggering. So I've tried to be careful in how much I say about it, and I've tried to be careful not to talk about specific deities or practices most of the time. But I will say that we have an extensive relationship with light magic and specifically old Celtic and Druidic stuff. Um, some of it was stuff that we were introduced to in our abusive situation that we learned to use constructively outside of the boundaries of it. And a lot of it was just stuff that came to us intuitively. We have a place in ourselves, an inner child place, a little child inside who is deeply and profoundly connected to the world on a level that I think is abnormal. And I think that it is a humongous reason why we have gotten out of MK to the degree that we have. I think it is a humongous reason why we've been so compelled to reach out to other people and to connect to other people spiritually, like we do on this channel and in other areas of our life. And after doing the ceremony that we did yesterday, we found ourselves so much more connected and unified with that child and with our craft. And today we had a beautiful experience where we went out and smoked some weed, which is part of our spirituality, and we sat at this World War One memorial for veterans who died in the area that we're in. And we ended up singing to them and connecting very, very deeply with the spirits of these soldiers. And then something in us kind of took over and started singing some rather medieval Celtic mantra type melodies. And almost immediately we noticed that birds started gathering around near where we were, and we ended up attracting quite an audience of birds who we sang to and connected with. And things like that just happen when we apply ourselves. We're getting chills in our body all over again. Almost the whole time we got chills as we felt the spirits of the soldiers and then the birds connecting with us, as well as other things as well. And so, well, I know a lot of people don't believe in this stuff. I imagine that those are the same sorts of people that wouldn't believe me about MK Ultra. And the reality is that MK Ultra is deeply, deeply occultic and involves a lot of astral stuff. And if we were not hyper attuned in certain ways on that kind of level, we would not have been able to defend ourselves from early childhood. We would not have been able to connect with light entities that we very much believe have been defending and shielding us since then. I feel like I have been held from birth and before by much more powerful beings than I. But that if I did not have a certain degree of power in myself that was unusual, I would not have been able to accomplish the things with them that I have. So, yeah, I know a lot of people don't believe this stuff, but I know that a lot of you who follow our channel do. And so I know that there are many of you who will understand and who are much like us also. Okay, I think that's all I have. I have talked for much longer than I intended. Um, but yeah, everything's in flux for us right now. It's a huge time of transition. And honestly, as painful and difficult as a lot of it has been, we are just in a tremendous space of gratitude and joy, and we hope that as many of you as possible can share in that with us today.